check it out. So for those of you who are also maybe watching this, this is from the Discord server. One of our members here was asking how could he get this material. He's got an HDRI on this box here. He's kind of doing like an HDRI dome. He wants this to look right because it looks like crap right there, right? So this is what I've kind of came up with. Check it out. If we jump into his file here and I go in here, actually I think I need to reconnect the HDRIs. Okay, so I got the HDRI reconnected, and this is the setup he's got going on here. You can see, let me zoom in for you guys here. We've got a RGB image with a 3D transform and a sphere. This is correct. Gamma set to 1 because it is an EXR file. Okay, so we do need to be for 1. It's got that plugged into the albedo. And the first thing I would do, let me crank up the roughness there, add GGX, energy preserved. We grab the power and I bring the power down. I can see there's the detail inside of it, right? So what I'm going to do is actually kill these lights here for a moment, just because I want to see the reflection that we're going to get on the sphere. Obviously right now, if we kill the lights, we don't see anything. If we just make our plane or our HDRI dome emissive like it's supposed to, right, it should show up. So I've already see he's got a texture environment node here. We don't need a texture environment. What we need is a texture emission node. I'm gonna come over here, pop in a Octane texture emission. I'm gonna go ahead and plug the same thing into here, into the texture. So now we should be able to control our values. I'm gonna leave this at a 100. I'm gonna use my power and just kind of power this up a little bit. So kind of now we can see, boom. And then if you want a little bit more control, you can probably come in here and add in a color correction node just to give us a little bit more control over the color correction node. Drop that in here. Now we can crank up the saturation and we can play. We got gamma, just gives you a little bit more control. We got gamma, we got gain, so we can crank the gain up or bring the gain down. This looks like it's making a little bit of a difference there. So that's basically how I would go about doing that. So now we got the HDRI dome going on here. I grab this camera, also drop the camera in here, grab my sphere, move this around, and then let's grab our focal length. I'm gonna grab my focal length, kind of bring it back a little bit. And then if I come into my viewport, pass protrude, close at that, grab that like that. And then what I would even do is come in here and grab my camera and also tweak on, turn off autofocus, turn on limits. There it is there. And then go to my aperture, f-stop. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, get a little bit there. And that's pretty much it. To render this, go ahead and pop. Let me see these render settings. Boop, boop. This is a major. Always have adaptive sampling on. This really helps with your render times. For example, I'm going to render one without adaptive sampling. Just render it out how he has it set up here. And let's go ahead and do that. All right, that actually was pretty fast. That was 19 seconds, but I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to go down here to slot number 2. Then when I'm going to come over here and take a look at the render samples first, we're at 512. I'm going to set the preview to 512 also. Then I'm going to come down here, activate adaptive sampling. I'm going to go to my render passes. I'm going to turn my render passes from classic to AVs. And then I'm going to go to click on this render tab here, scroll that down, click on AV1, and I'm going to add in a noise pass. I want to see the noise. Right here, noise AOV. And then if I turn this render on, and we're still not seeing the pass, we have to activate it. We're seeing the beauty pass. I want to see the noise pass. Now everything in green has been rendered, and then it's going to continue to focus on everything else. But we need to set the limit here of how many minimum samples we want everything to have. So let's go back to the render tab, back to adaptive sampling. I'm going to close some of these tabs here. So adaptive sampling, it's going to do 512 samples. I don't want it. I'm going to say I want everything to have 125 samples minimum. And then I want the adaptive sampling to start working. I'm going to set this to 4x4 just so it gives it a little bit more data. And now anything that after 125 samples is going to stop rendering anything in green and continue rendering using those samples to render other areas. I can also tweak this value here. If I pick times 2, I'm going to double the value. So 3D should be a little bit quicker here. We'll start to see more green. All right, so let's go ahead and from here, let's just go and see what our render time will be now. All right, we are finished. So our first render it was zoom so you guys can see this time, 19 second. Our second one, go to slot 2, is now 15 seconds. So we went from 15 to 19 seconds. Let's see if we can see a difference between the two renders. Here is render 19 seconds, 15 seconds, 19 seconds, 15 seconds, 19 seconds, 15 seconds. Can't see a difference. Boom. That's how we can reduce our render times just like that. Guys, if you enjoyed this and you want to go deeper with Blender Octane in particular, I do have a Blender Octane community. I'm giving a 7-day free trial to the community where you can get more access to content like this. Plus, you can get access to the Blender Octane 101 guide as it's being released, as it's being built. And I also have material libraries, databases of nodes and different types of things to help you learn Octane Blender and an engaging community. So if that's something you might be interested in, take a look down, 7-day free trial. Hey, if you don't like it, then you can just leave.